those provisions.
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. Her time has expired.
Thank you.
I call Jonathan Young.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very pleased to stand and speak in the second reading of the Credit Contracts Financial Services Law Reform Bill. So I just want to say thank you very much to the officials who worked alongside the Select Committee. This was a particularly interesting but also a very complex and large bill. In fact, the commentary that the committee signed off on as a record of our work was about 25 pages long. One of the largest commentaries, I think, in a bill this year. And it showed the complexity and the scope of the work which we did. So the availability of credit, both for businesses and for consumers, is fundamental to the sound operation of a modern economy. Many goods and services are purchased through consumer transactions that are partly or completely financed by credit. Without credit, such purchases would not occur and consumers and businesses would be worse off. Accessible consumer credit can make a significant contribution to the welfare of consumers and to the prosperity of business. The credit industry can be categorised in a number of ways. The Reserve Bank Household Financial Liabilities Report from a year ago shows that there is approximately, at that point in time, $180 billion of housing loans, $9 billion of bank consumer loans, and $3.9 billion of non-bank consumer loans. And Colmar Brunton produced a report in 2011 for the Ministry of Consumer Affairs entitled Using a Third-Tier Lender, Experiences of New Zealand Borrowers. And this report defined the three segments in the consumer credit market as first-tier lenders, second-tier lenders and third-tier lenders. First-tier lenders include registered banks. Second-tier lenders include building societies, credit unions, the Public Service Investment Society and other deposit-taking financial institutions. Third-tier lenders are providers of personal non-mortgage credit, which are not banks, credit unions, building societies, deposit-taking institutions or credit card providers. Third-tier lenders include finance companies, payday lenders and money lenders. And some third-tier lenders are quite large organisations with multiple outlets. However, most are single outlet small operations. Third-tier lenders have tended to focus their business in lower income areas. A number of lenders operate solely via the telephone, internet and or brokers. And third-tier lenders are seeing opportunities and increasing demand for more accessible loans which has not been met by the banks and other credit providers. Third-tier lenders, sir, operate in a market where it's easier to engage in practices that potentially take advantage of vulnerable consumers because many of the borrowers have lower levels of financial literacy and or have low incomes and do not have access to affordable credit. So one of the things that we found, I think, quite challenging in the committee was to mark differentiation between those different tiers. And that was quite a challenge as we looked at wanting to certainly address the real problem that happens particularly in those low-income families and communities where financial literacy is low. And so I think we worked quite extensively in a committee to try and find those demarcations. One of the areas that we worked on was lender responsibility principles. The bill introduces the concept of responsible lending to New Zealand credit legislation for the first time, requiring lenders to help borrowers to be reasonably aware. It doesn't take away the responsibility of the lender to gain financial literacy, but it puts the onus upon the borrower or the people lending the money to do everything they can to help the borrower to become reasonably aware of the full implications of entering into a credit contract. We recommend requiring lenders to express in plain language the terms of agreements and subsequent variations to agreements to help borrowers and guarantors to reach informed decisions. This is a very important part of the bill. It sounds simple, but sir, when we have a population, particularly in the northern part of this country, that is increasingly immigrants are coming from overseas where English may not be as strong as you know, the rest of the country, it's important that plain language is used, and that lenders and borrowers become reasonably aware of those implications. Sir, there's much to cover on this, but I've probably said enough at this point in time, and I'm very happy to commend this excellent bill to the House, and thank all the committee members for their hard work in getting it this far.
The Honourable Clayton Cosgrave.
Mr. Speaker, I join with other